Hello, welcome to my channel, Mad Mastery for Wealth with Rose Thompson. I'm the founder and CEO of Mad Mastery for Wealth, an innovative educational and research company that focuses on an holistic, integrated approach to help human beings create and achieve their life and business goals in the areas of financial, wealth creation, health and well-being, as well as personal growth and empowerment. In this video, I will share with you key recent events that are unfolding that could potentially signal that the key benefits that will be available to us under Nesara, GESARA are being implemented. Yes, from every indication, it would appear that we are at the beginning of the end of this great moment, these great activities that are unfolding, and a good source indicate that we are now at the beginning of the end. It has been a long time. Let me go ahead and share my screen now with the key benefits while I discuss the related recent events that are unfolding that could potentially signal that these key benefits are indeed being implemented. Nesara, GESARA will enable a very significant benefit, that of the revaluation of currencies. Globally, each country will revalue its national currency and reset its currency at parity with all other currencies. Hence, under Nesara, GESARA will have a global currency reset, that is, globally, countries will reset their currencies. And it is expected that with the revaluation of currency, there'll also be a revaluation of asset prices as well as goods and services. Nesara, GESARA. Nesara is the most groundbreaking reformation to occur not only in the US, but throughout our planet and throughout its entire history. That's to give you an indication of how impactful Nesara will be on our lives. Recently, GESARA has been included. Nesara is specific to the US, while GESARA is a global version of the law, and this is applicable to most, if not all, the other countries on the planet. Nesara is abbreviated to be for National Economic Security and Reformation Act. Some sources suggest that Nesara is abbreviated for National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act. Either way, definition or abbreviation, I believe, is acceptable, while GESARA is the global version of this act. I'm going to encourage you, for persons who are new to my channel, I'm going to encourage you to review my videos part 1 to 4 on Nesara, GESARA, the greatest wealth redistribution for humanity. You may be familiar with this table. This is a table that I have used to create my previous presentations, and I've also used this table to summarize the key benefits that will be available to us under Nesara, GESARA. I've summarized them in related benefits for easier flow of the presentation. Now, this table was also shared recently by a very good source, and I'm just going to jump ahead and highlight the 2 key benefits that he highlighted, that of 16 and 17, where Nesara, GESARA ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide, as well as establishes peace throughout the world. What is prosperity without peace? What indeed is prosperity? Now, here are the key benefits organized in related items, and I'm going to share with you the recent events that are unfolding that I believe are potentially signaling that these key benefits are indeed being implemented. The first key benefit under Nesara Jasara is the canceling or zeroing out of all credit card, mortgages, and other bank debts. Included in this is the student loans. Recent events that are unfolding that could potentially signal that student loans in particular are being canceled or zero out is a continuous conversation about the pause and the extension and the pause and the extension. This could be signaling that the student loans are being canceled or being zeroed out. The other recent event, and this is very recent, for that of the mortgages being canceled or zeroed out is the an article which discusses that China is on the verge of violent debt jubilee as disgruntled homebuyers refuse to pay their mortgages. This article is indicating that this is the debt jubilee for mortgages, and good sources are suggesting that this could be the beginning for other countries to follow. I'd like to highlight, before I move to the other benefits, that the information I'm sharing with you in this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not operating as a financial advisor, a tax professional, or medical doctor. Therefore, I'm going to suggest that any investment or financial decisions that you're considering, you consult a financial advisor. Similarly, for your tax advice, if you choose, you could also consult a financial advisor or a tax professional. And for your health related decision, I'm suggesting that you consult a medical doctor. For key benefits, number 2, 3, and 4 are directly related. Nesara Jasara initiates new U.S. Treasury Bank system in alignment with constitutional law. Nesara Jasara eliminates the Federal Reserve System and creates a new U.S. Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold and other assets such as silver, platinum, and other precious metals. There are good indications to suggest that the U.S. Treasury banking system, the quantum financial system, is operational, and the Federal Reserve System has been backed into the U.S. Treasury banking system. The Federal Reserve System, the quantum financial system, has been integrated with the traditional legacy banking system, not only for the U.S. Treasury banking system, but internationally. And a key event occurred on July 4th, and this is being reported by good sources, that the charter for the Federal Reserve System expired on July 4th, 2022. Hence, this is suggesting that the Federal Reserve System has been eliminated. The Federal Reserve System, there was a transitional period of a year which allowed for the Federal Reserve System to operate side by side with the U.S. Treasury banking system in order to remove the federal notes from the money supply. You may be aware that the US dollar note states Federal Reserve note, and actually that note is not a part of the federal government. It is a part of the Federal Reserve System, which is owned by private bankers. So in essence, the Federal Reserve System, which is the equivalent of the central banks in other countries. So the Federal Reserve System is the central bank for the US, where the Federal Reserve System lends money to the federal government and charges interest on the money that is lent. So in essence, the US note is a debt instrument. So it is the elimination of the Federal Reserve System is of great significance, and that was a significant milestone was achieved on July 4, 2022, when the charter of the Federal Reserve System expired. For key benefit number 4, where the US Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold assets or gold, other assets such as silver, platinum, and other precious metal. This is coming from the Jasara side. A key event is that of Russia. Its currency, the ruble, is backed by gold. And on July 25th, Zimbabwe will issue gold coins that can be used both locally and domestically. So it would appear that the US Treasury, the note, the national currencies, this key benefit is being implemented under the Jasara side. And there are sources that are suggesting that the US note is now backed by gold and waiting for an event to start issuing this gold-backed currency. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfold, and I'm observing keenly to identify when the US will start to use its new rainbow currency backed by gold or other precious metals. Another recent event is that is associated with key benefit number 4, 2 as well, and potentially 3 is that of the BRICS nation. BRICS, abbreviated for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, where there's an announcement that China and Russia are creating a new global reserve currency, and this is expected to be backed by gold, or let me say asset back, any of the precious metals to support, to back these currencies. So the good indication that the 2, 3, and 4 are being implemented. These key benefits are being implemented. For key benefit number 5, where Jasara enables the release of over 6,000 patents of suppressed technologies that are being withheld from the public under the guise of national security. Again, there are several conversations that are indicating that the free energy technologies, free energy devices are being made available are being worked on to be made available to the public, and as well as the medical beds. My understanding from good sources is that the medical beds are available, just waiting on the public announcement of Jasara to be released. Let me highlight at this point as well that throughout this presentation, I will state that sources suggest. I'm doing this deliberately to encouraging you to review available information for yourself. It is important to question everything and everyone. it's also important for you to develop your own critical thinking. I welcome the opportunity to discuss with anyone good information that is not consistent with the information I have shared with you. Now, to come back to key benefit number 5, it is my expectation that the work of the great Nikola Tesla will be finally made available to humanity. Nikola Tesla has always wanted to give humanity for free or at a very nominal cost his inventions, which included free energy and natural healing modalities. I'm truly excited about this benefit, and Nicola has been one of my greatest sources of inspiration. And he stated on Mind Mastery's website as just that. I also expect that the work of the great Wilhelm Reich will be available as well. His discovery, he discovered orgone energy, a very, very significant discovery. For key benefits 6, 7, 8, Nesara, Jasara abolishes the income tax and abolishes the IRS. Events that are unfolding, or is that of the millions of tax return that have not been processed, that could potentially signal that the income tax and the IRS has been abolished. Potentially signal that the income tax and the IRS has been abolished. Now, IRS is specific to the U.S. Internal Revenue Service. Remember that GESARA mirrors the key benefits on the Nesara. So the equivalent entity within your respective country will be abolished, and the abolishing of the income tax is of great significance. It is effectively representing an increase in salary at the respective rate of income tax in your country. For key benefit number 18, there's the conversation continuously of this global flat tax. So there is the indication that this rate could be anywhere between the range of 14 to 17%. For key benefit number 9, the conversation has started on increase in benefits for Social Security, suggesting that the increase could be the highest in a number of years. So that is good indication that the increases in benefits to senior citizens is being implemented. For key benefits number 10 and 11, there no specific events have unfolded to signal that these benefits are being implemented. However, the conversation continuously surrounds a return to constitutional law as opposed to Admiralty maritime law that has been practiced since 1871. So although there are no specific events in the background, we're well aware that these key benefits will be implemented, and effectively this is so significant, which is suggesting that the legal profession will experience a reset. For key benefit number 12, this is very interesting. It reinstates the original title of nobility amendment. No specific event is unfolding to signal that this benefit is being implemented. Key benefit number 13 is of great significance at this point in time, and the events that are unfolding are potentially signaling that the announcement of the public announcement of Nesara, GESARA is imminent. The public announcement for Nesara, GESARA should be coming shortly. And a good source has suggested that we are at the beginning of the end. And if we are at the beginning of the end, here is what key benefit number 13 states, that Nesara GESARA establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after Nesara GESARA has been announced. Now, if new congressional are to be held in January, and Nesara GESARA has to be announced within 120 days. Therefore, let's do a projection. If that is to occur in January, moving backwards, counting backwards, that take us somewhere in September. The source is suggesting August. Possibly something else is going to occur, but from my count, it is indicating that the public announcement of Nesara GESARA should take place at some point in September. So potentially the announcement of Nesara GESARA should occur, if not in September, in August, based on the source. Potentially something else is occurring. So from my projection, I'm potentially suggesting that the announcement of Nesara GESARA, and this is significant, will take place either in September or in August. So yes, indeed, we are at the beginning of the end. For key benefit number 14, where Nesara GESARA monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest group, an event that I would consider to be signaling the implementation of this benefit is that of the situation with the Twitter and the Elon Musk, and where that is now is the Elon Musk is indicating that he will no longer be purchasing Twitter, and we know where that is in the court. So good indication, good events that are unfolding that are suggesting that these key benefits are definitely being implemented. For key benefits 15, where Nesara GESARA forbids a sale. Well, Nesara in this instance forbids a sale of American birth certificate records as chattel property bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation. A source has recently indicated that this was indeed occurring, and to the best of his knowledge, it has ceased. As I said in my previous video, I was not aware of this benefit. So this source, and I've come to rely on this source, has indicated that this yes, this activity was indeed taking place. So again, I am observing keenly to ascertain how this key benefit will be dealt with. For 16, where Nesara GESARA restores financial privacy, I have not. Let me suggest that the quantum financial system is significant in the restoration of financial privacy. So although there has not been any direct event specific to the restoration of financial privacy, because I'm well aware that the quantum financial system is operating quietly in the background, I'm going to say that there is good indication that the financial privacy is being restored. For key benefits 17, 18, 19, and 20, where Nesara GESARA ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide, and 19, where Nesara GESARA establishes peace throughout the world. a number of the military-related activities that are occurring. My understanding is that behind the scenes, the aggressive U.S. military actions worldwide is being discontinued, and there are several peace accords that are being established. So these sources are good sources, have indicated that these two key benefits are being implemented. And as a matter of fact, a good source at the beginning of his presentation, using the chart I shared earlier with the 20 key benefits for Nesara, he, at the top of his presentation, he highlighted that these two key benefits are being implemented, and especially for 19, where Nesara Jasara establishes peace throughout the world. I want to highlight what is prosperity without peace. What indeed is prosperity without peace? Therefore, key benefit number 18, where Nesara Jasara eliminates all current and future nuclear-powered weaponry on the planet Earth. Earlier, when I prepared, organized the flow of these key benefits, this key benefit was highlighted as number 20 on that chart. Recently, I have noticed that 20 is the key benefit is that of the establishment or the implementation of the quantum financial system, QFS, as we know, abbreviated QFS, quantum voting system, as well, and the global currency reset and revaluation of currency, which is very significant. This allows for parity for each one nation's currency against the other nation's currency. This is so significant because there are a number of countries whose currency has been the value, and we're aware that the standard is gold, but just for discussion, where the US dollar, one, it requires an enormous amount of a country's currency to purchase one US currency. So think about the implication for parity of each one country's currency against another country's currency. Think about also the impact for the revaluation of the prices of assets as well as goods and services. Some sources are suggesting that the prices of items, assets such as houses, potentially could be reset to the 1970s prices, or 1955, 1955 being the year or so, it would be the 1950 prices. I would like to support the position of the prices for the 1970 remaining open. 1970, because that is when the US was taken off the gold standard. So again, I'm remaining very open. It's going to be interesting to see what year the currencies are revalued. Not year, what year the assets, goods and services, they are revalued too. And finally, Nesara Jasara releases unprecedented prosperity with enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. This also is related to the global currency reset and revaluation of currencies, because my understanding is that funds will come from these sources for humanitarian purposes. Finally, it would appear that we are indeed at the beginning of the end. Has been a long journey for a number of persons, but we are appearing that finally we are very close to the announcement, public announcement of Nesara. The events that are unfolding provide good indication that the key benefits that will be available to us under Nesara, GESARA are indeed being implemented. These events provide good signal that the key benefits are being implemented. The events also are providing good indication that the public announcement of Nesara, GESARA should occur shortly. Yes, indeed, we are in the beginning of the end. I'm truly excited about this period. I am so humbled and grateful to be aware of the events that are unfolding and to be living in one of the most, I'm going to say, influential timeline in modern history. I'm really excited. I have placed in the description below this video the contact information that we can be reached with any inquiries that you may have on the information that I have shared in this video. I have also placed in the description below this video the website address for Mind Mastery. I'm going to encourage you to visit that website. It has good quality information to help you develop a mindset in terms of abundance and possibilities. I'm going to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, and to share this video with any persons you believe the content will add value to their lives. Again, thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I encourage you to visit often, as I will have good quality information, continue to have good quality information to share with you, in particular to share with you that yes, indeed, the public announcement for Nesara, GESARA has been made. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Again, thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I look forward to serving you.